Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debating.
Welcome to Dumb Debates, where you take over the grum by sending us all of your questions. These are the debates that happen over the kitchen table. They happen at the office. They happen at the bar. They happen online.
At the ballpark while you're
at the
watching a
ballpark.
game.
Wow. While someone's throwing you the thumbs down sign.
Oh, man.
They happen anywhere. Well, this is your opportunity to bring it to
Yours.
our forum and allow us to debate them dumbly. And you can do so by sending it to us in the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC1620. Please use the hashtag dumbdebates or the Equitable Bank inbox. John at 1620thezone.com, Josh at 1620thezone.com, Nick at 1620thezone.com. Before we get to dumb debates, David points out,
Hello, David.
a couple days ago in the
Hello,
crossover,
Dave.
we talked about how, what if a school decided to just offer a basketball coach $1 trillion
Yes.
to win the national championship,
Hoiberg's trillions.
but they didn't pay any salary.
Yes.
They just said, okay, you win the national title, you get $1 trillion. As David points out, Fred Hoiberg could solve world hunger with his super team.
He could.
He could. It's
He
only
could do that.
$23 billion. Speaking of money, John, and speaking of winning money, Jeff asks, if a friend loans you $200, you gamble that $200 and you win $2 million, how much of your winnings are you paying your friend? Or are you just paying back the $200? Let's like simplify this a little bit. You buy a lotto ticket, and for some reason, lottery tickets are $200 now,
Mhm.
and you win $2 million. What you doing with that friend who loaned you that $200?
Well,
Would you split it halvesies?
How good of a friend is this?
This is your closest friend.
I'll
Nick.
give him half.
You'll give him
okay,
half
the-
straight up.
Usually when it comes to something like this, you've already made some kind of a deal, right?
Maybe.
I guess you don't.
You're at a
have to.
casino, you're out of cash, but you don't want to go to the ATM,
Unless
right?
you
Right.
lie to your friend, you're like, I need $200 for food, man, just to get me through the rest of the month. And
Nice.
then you gamble it.
Nice. No, but like you're at a casino. That's how I'm going to view this. You're at a casino and you're like, God, I want to bet, but I don't want to go to the ATM because it's going to jack me. It's going to take however much of a cut. Could I borrow some money? And they're like, yeah, here's $200. And then how many times more is 2 million? That's many more times. Many more.
That's
Was that
math.
1,000 more times than
That's many more times.
That's many more times.
It's many more times.
If it was my closest friend, I feel like I would owe them half. I'd say you get half of this money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what if it's John, Nick?
Well, I ain't loaning you $200.
Well, definitely not. John would loan you $2.
Even though I entrusted my engagement ring to be delivered by you, John.
Wow, you guys are almost best friends, I think.
Yeah.
You didn't even tell me you were getting engaged.
I didn't.
Meanwhile,
tell John.
old man John, Grandpa John knew.
I didn't tell John.
I didn't even tell you
He
that
had
I went to
two
the gumball
working
machine and I
wrists.
got an identical one and I just kept the real one and gave you the gumball version. I didn't do
Nice.
that.
And then he sold it for $200.
That's a very specific gumball ring.
Mhm.
It looks exactly like the one I ordered.
Mm.
Sure. I mean, there would definitely be more to it than just paying back the $200. Absolutely.
Definitely.
And if it was a big jackpot like that, yeah, I would probably look at half.
Yeah. Halvesies.
Is that rising tides lift all ships?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say all boats. I hear some people say lift all ships, though.
A
I'm
boat
an all
is just
boats
a
guy.
tiny ship.
Is it really? Is a boat a tiny ship?
Oh. I think so.
John, is a
You know.
boat a tiny ship?
Of course it is.
Okay, there you
Of
go.
course it is.
But then
Yeah,
a
I would
spaceship
think
is the
I
boat.
would probably go halvesies.
Yeah, that seems right.
This came in today
Mm.
in regards to the Dallas Cowboys trade
Oh, God.
from Negative Split Swimming.
Oh,
Now, if only Jerry was traded for the Rooney family, the Cowboys would be Super Bowl favorites. Hey, that's a dumb debates topic. Which owners in professional sports would be a great trade option to make a team better? So now we're trading owners.
so you're trading, and I can get any owner I want?
Yeah, but it's got to be an equitable trade. I mean, ain't no one. Now,
See, but that's
I
the
suppose,
thing. Who's
I suppose a poor franchise, the Bengals, I could see the Bengals trading to get Jarrah because Jarrah's got a lot of money now. He never
No,
spends
I
it.
don't want Mr. Brown. That guy sucks. That guy's worse than Jerry. That guy's cheaper than Jerry.
He's been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, so is Jerry. He's been to 3 of them. It's just been many
So
years.
long ago
See-
that Nick doesn't even remember them because
I
he
don't.
wasn't alive.
Nick was high. He doesn't remember anything.
Wasn't even born.
Yeah, and you're still probably drugged up.
See, I don't know how to make this equitable though, because no one wants to trade anybody for the Monforts. Stay in the Rockies.
Oh, yeah.
No,
See, but
no one wants the
so
Monforts.
can I trade Jerry? I mean, Jerry brings in so much money, though, John. So does like that. There's some value
Well,
there.
Jerry doesn't bring in the money. The Cowboy brand.
I'm
brings
trading
in
him
the
for
money.
Hugh Laurie. Sorry, Hugh, you're leaving Philly and you're coming to Dallas, and you're bringing your GM with you. Let's go,
Hugh Laurie?
I mean,
Hugh.
Oh, Dr.
if-
House?
If they were to do that just to tank the Cowboys, I would be for that.
That would be the worst moment of my life if they somehow failed in Dallas. I don't know who's an equitable one because Jerry is he's kind of a tire fire in some ways, but he's also
Right.
he's a good owner in terms of what he is supposed to do beyond on the field. He does what he's supposed to do. So like there is value. Like that's like would they trade him, for Jacksonville's owner? Yeah, like he seems like less of an idiot. But that's because he doesn't meddle. But the franchise also sucks. Who's a guy who doesn't meddle and their franchise is good? Most of them.
Stanley Kroenke,
Stanley Kroenke, that's a good one. He's a good.
my owner.
Yeah, he's a
Do
good
you
owner.
do you think the Monfort and John Fisher would be an equitable trade?
I don't see. You're just saying names now. Pretend people.
John, do you think that would be equitable?
Oh my God, the owner of the A's for the owner of the Rock. That would
Uh-huh.
actually be funny.
Uh-huh.
That would actually be funny.
See, the A's don't suck. Their ownership just sucks.
The-
But the
yeah.
Rockies, the ownership and the team suck.
That's true.
Mm.
I'd be for that. By the way, did you know this is not an insane concept? It's happened before.
What?
1972. The owner of the Baltimore Colts, Carol Rosenblum, traded the entire franchise to Robert Irsay for the Los Angeles Rams.
Whoa.
Oh, and then
The
Irsay, they
owners-
moved him, right? That's how it happened. That led to
No, the move came a decade later.
Yeah.
But the owners literally swapped franchises. Rosenblum went from being
Garden
the Colts
hose.
owner to being the Rams owner, and Irsay went from being the Rams owner to the Colts owner, and then eventually he did move the team. But yes, this actually happened in 1972.
Wow.
Owners traded franchises.
That's wild.
Yeah, I can't imagine such a thing happening in today. There's just too much money involved.
Mhm.
That'd be very strange.
Even
Yeah.
the worst team is still too much money involved.
Even yes, Nick. In 2025, even the worst team is.
Fellas,
Oh, Nick has one.
I have one.
Okay.
So last week on Twitter, I don't know if this was on your version of Twitter, but I saw a lot of discourse about who would win one silverback gorilla versus 100 people.
Yeah, people wouldn't shut up.
I saw a
about
lot
this.
of this, yes.
So this is a similar thing that I came across. For $100 million, which animal could you survive against for 20 minutes? You got a silverback gorilla. Maybe that's just a normal gorilla. I guess I don't know my gorillas.
I have no idea about gorillas.
A tiger, a grizzly bear, or a hippo.
Got to survive for 20 minutes.
Yep. For $100 million.
Isn't the best chance a bear? Because sometimes bears
Why?
are sleepy.
You think so?
Bears don't
well,
always.
every animal sleeps.
I think the gorillas, you're game over. I think the tiger, it's game over. So it comes down to me to the bear and the
I
hippo.
don't know. You saw Tiger King. They can be cuddly.
I guess so. I mean, it is just a cat,
It is just a cat.
but I hate cats.
The
Yeah,
question
What
is,
do
where are
hippos
we?
do?
Where are we
Hippos are
fighting?
mean.
Where is this encounter happening?
Well, it has to be somewhere enclosed, I imagine, because you have to survive for 20 minutes.
See, are we fighting, or are you just trying to avoid?
You're just trying to survive.
Yeah,
You're just trying to live for
so if
20
you
minutes.
Just sit there, still like maybe they'll leave you alone for
Yeah,
20
maybe
minutes.
Just chill, listen to a podcast.
Oh,
Then the gorilla's like, I hate Bill Simmons.
I'm gonna go out listening to Simmons, aren't I?
Well, I am not going
Hey,
to pick
Russillo.
either. I'm not going to pick either the tiger or the
What
bear.
are you picking?
I'm not going to pick the tiger or the bear because their instinct would be they're going to eat me.
Yeah.
Um,
So you're down to the hippo or the gorilla?
Hippos are sneaky mean.
Are they?
They will.
they're
mess
mean,
you
but
up.
that's why again I ask
they're so triggered.
where is this event taking place? Because perhaps I could climb a tree and avoid the hippo for 20 minutes.
Imagine
The
if
other
the
animals I
respective
could not
environment.
do that with because they could all scale the tree and come after me.
That's true. Yeah, if you can get in a tree, the hippo is not going to be able to do anything.
It's
with
all
you.
about
Yeah.
avoidance. It's either about it's about avoiding because the animal is not aggressive
Sure.
or just avoiding to avoid.
Yeah, I suppose out of all of these, hippos are the one non-climbing animal here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If you can get in a tree, then that's the winner. Katie says a better question would be who would win, a Gen Zer or 100 light bulbs?
Are they implying we don't know how to?
I think you're implying they don't know how to do anything. Nick, I think Gen Z is quickly becoming in the running for the woke generation. I think you guys need to be on your toes.
Right, but remember there's a split in Gen Z. There's the before Gen Z, then the after Gen Z.
No,
right?
there's not. There
Yes,
is
there
a
is.
Gen Z. No, there. See, this is the reason why your generation sucks. No, there's no split in the generation. You
There
can't Jack
is.
Mitchell this. You can't Jack Mitchell this and say
You can say
well,
they're-
actually this. No,
they're-
you're either that generation or you're that
There are-
generation
They're
based on the
you're saying
definition.
they're elder Gen Z and younger. Just
But
say it
there
that way.
are enough differences between us that it's essentially a completely different generation.
No,
it's like
sorry,
Gen
doesn't-
Z A and Gen Z B.
Nope, doesn't work that way, Nick.
Nope.
Sorry.
But it needs to.
Nope,
because
that's not
we're
how it
so
works.
fundamentally
No, it doesn't
different.
need to. You don't get to change the definition.
People in my age group, we grew up with flip phones and we saw all of this technology
Wow,
advance.
look at you. Flip phones.
We
Wow.
had-
flip phones.
I'm just saying, we had these things.
Yeah?
You know, we were outside, still played outside.
Kids didn't play outside when you were growing up, Nick.
Yes,
you were
they
on your
did.
you're on your flip phone
flip phones.
playing Snake.
Wish I
Rick
had
writes.
Hello, Rick.
Rick's always good for a good dumb debate. He says, "What should you do with greeting cards received as birthday cards? Display them on a table
No.
during and after the event for a couple of days? Then what? Store them? Throw them away? What is the proper etiquette as to not offend?"
I keep it not offend. I mean, who's coming back to my house the next day? First of all, is what I would ask.
I mean, the
True.
next day, but like, what if later down the line? I've never known what to do with these because my dad keeps them for a while.
Yeah.
He'll just like display them.
I keep cards that like I get for my birthday. They just kind of sit on my desk for like a month and then I just throw them away. But I keep cards from important people in my life. Like my parents have written me some really nice cards over the years about important events.
Where do you keep them?
In my desk.
Okay.
I have all sorts of cards from my parents and from my wife.
I might start putting cards in shoe boxes.
Yeah.
In a shoe.
So I
box.
keep those. Like I have some really, really like particular. I actually think I have every birthday card for my parents for the last like 10 years.
Oh.
I keep those.
Mhm.
But no offense to aunts and uncles, but at a certain point you got to toss it.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, and I definitely don't display it. That seems weird.
Yeah.
That seems like calling attention to yourself a bit.
Really?
Like if my friend came over for a college
Yeah.
football Saturday and he was like, "What's up with all those birthday cards?" I'd be like, "But it was my
Yeah.
birthday yesterday." I don't know. I'm not a kid anymore, Nick.
This is why I've
almost
never
40.
been a big greeting card person because
Oh wow.
it's just a waste. Yeah, I mean, you're sending and I will say
That's
this.
the thought that
I will
counts.
say this about new technology.
Flip
The
phones?
birthday text, the birthday call,
Yeah.
the birthday DM, the birthday shout out on Twitter or social media. That's the same sentiment as the card.
Whoa,
and
you
it
think
didn't-
so?
And it didn't cost you a
See,
thing.
and I feel like
Dumb debates. I would say that is not the
No,
same thing.
I
cards
think
mean
it
more-
is.
Cards
It's a
mean
birthday
more,
greeting.
John. Cards
It's a
mean way
birthday
more.
greeting.
Handwritten, John. You, who the lover of
It
a phone
doesn't
call.
need to be handwritten to be a greeting.
Somebody
No way.
went out of their way, bought a card, wrote a message,
And then
in it
you
for you and gave it to
callously
you.
threw it away. You threw it away as trash.
Well, I displayed it, John. That's what I
You
do.
threw it away. Josh just threw it away. He said, "My
After
aunts
a
and
month.
uncles, they're not
After a
very
month.
important.
After a
I
month.
threw them away."
I got a card last week about the marathon from an aunt, and it is on my desk right now.
Until you
and,
throw it away.
Well, actually, I
and
might
how
keep
long
this-
from now will it be just callously thrown away?
Honestly, I might keep this one forever because it's a very specific
Mhm.
moment in time card. It's the Boston Marathon. But yeah, when I turn 37 in a few months, I don't need to keep those cards for a while.
Which is why, again, I think the birthday text, the birthday DM, the birthday shout out on social media, it's better. And you're not wasting you're not wasting paper. You libs and you want to save your trees.
Yeah, I figured
I'm
you'd
saving your trees for
Honestly,
you.
I figured you'd want more cards. John just buys every card. Kill more trees. Happy birthday.
Even the hyper specific ones.
Mhm.
Nope.
Sorry about
No.
your root canal. Here's a card.
Funny story about greeting card. So I got one the other day from my aunt.
Was it about your wrist?
My aunt.
No.
But I opened it up, and on the front cover was like an angry cat looking over a birthday cake.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, interesting. Open the card, and it was to my sister for her birthday, which is this weekend. She had addressed the envelope to me, but sent the birthday card to my sister to me. So I informed my sister, be on the lookout for a get well soon card.
Nice. Happy birthday, Carla.
Happy birthday, Carla.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
Peter writes, suppose the NCAA decides to put a cap on the number of teams in your conference at 15. That means
15?
three
Why
big
a weird number like that?
I don't know, John. 3 Big Ten teams have to go. You are in charge. Which 3 are you giving the boot?
Nebraska.
Nick, you monster.
So they can go to the Pac-12 and look better.
No, that sounds horrible.
Right.
Well,
They get
but
beaten
then
in
you
the
also
Pac-12.
then you might want to. You're also going to get rid of USC and Washington and Oregon and
Yeah, you have to.
UCLA
Yeah.
because they are original Pac-12. But
I
you
don't
only
have to get rid of
3.
them. I got to decide.
We have to pick 3 teams, Nick.
I also think it'd be funny if Nebraska was in the Pac-12, but over here.
That would be very strange.
My 3,
Give it to me, John. Rutgers.
the Rutgers,
Easy. Look at that.
That is a pretty easy one.
Maryland.
2.
Maryland.
Maryland.
Really?
Yeah.
Number 3,
Don't want those teams.
Northwestern.
Oh, suck on that, Wilbon.
The Ivy League
Bye
of the
bye,
Midwest?
Wilbon. We're kicking you out. You don't kick Nebraska out. We kick you out. Bye bye, Wilbon. Bye bye. Take your little nerds with you. Take your little football facility on the shores of Lake Michigan. Ooh, look at the Lake Michigan. Isn't this cool? Bye bye.
John, that's
You're
awesome.
moving to the valley.
That's a great pick, John. The first 2 are so obvious. Rutgers and Maryland are easy peasy to kick out. The third one is tougher. You know, some people in the chat are mentioning West Coast schools, Washington, UCLA.
They just got here.
Andy writes, yes, F Northwestern. See, many people are saying that.
What about Michigan State? Because there only needs to be one Michigan-based school.
Also, they're really problematic. They've had a lot of crimes over the years.
That's a sneaky good pick.
John, I'm going to give you one, and it might trigger one of our great former listeners who no longer listens anymore. But Greg, I'm sorry.
Purdue.
Bob, but it's fun to say Purdue.
I don't like watching games that are played at their stadium. I don't like watching games that are played in their arena. I don't
And
like
what the hell's a
Mackey-
Rutgers? What the hell's a Purdue anyway?
What is a Purdue? Exactly. People
What
are
the hell's a
asking.
Purdue?
Sorry, Purdue, you're out of the Big Ten, and Indiana is now the flavor of the state inside of the league.
Wow.
So, Nick, who are your teams? Nebraska?
Nebraska, I agree with Rutgers.
Okay.
I think Penn State.
What the hell? That
Jeez.
is the strangest list of all time.
Because I always forget that they're in the even now I had to Google to confirm they were in the Big Ten. I just forget about them. They might as well
How?
not be there.
They've been in the Big Ten since 1993.
They're just so forgetful to me. I don't care about Penn
How?
State. I just don't.
Nick, they might win the Natty this year.
Okay, cool.
All right. Hard to
They
argue
can
with
do it
that.
in the Pac-12.
I do hate watching games that
in
are played
the
at
Pac-12.
the... Stop it. Stop it,
They
Nick.
need schools, Josh.
They do need schools.
Where else are they going to go?
Kalen writes, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, then we can win everything. Kalen, you'd still be in like 12th place, though.
Yeah, forget it. That ain't
That's not
that
going
ain't
to fix
happening.
The problem
See,
is not those teams.
That's why I was trying to help Nebraska by kicking them out and putting them in a different conference.
Hey, here's a fun follow-up from Sam. Would free agent Nebraska get an SEC invite? What would happen if they got kicked out of the Big Ten? Who would be interested in Nebraska? The ACC?
the Pac-12.
The Pac-12, obviously.
You're welcome.
The Big 12, would the Big 12 say, all right, fine, welcome back?
I think
yes.
the Big 12 is probably the more realistic answer.
Yeah, I think. But
They
then
absolutely would.
they have to kick teams out to lower their number to 15. Oh man, we should have carved this. Could have been a whole segment
This could have
because
been
then
a
we
fun
could
segment.
figure out all of the teams that would get kicked out of leagues, and they could perform or they could join together to create a losers league,
And then we
The
can
Losers
rebuild
League.
the Pac-12.
and then we could remake the Pac-12.
Or as we used to call it, the American Conference.
Oh my gosh.
I have another one, guys.
Okay.
All right.
We've all watched and enjoyed Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
This is another tweet one with pictures.
Okay.
Who are you choosing to fight for you in a trial by combat against the Mountain?
Oh, well, okay. First of all, don't pick Pedro Pascal. We know what happened there.
He already died.
His head
The
exploded.
problem is he beat him, but then he got cocky.
He was George
So
Pickens.
we should say what our options are.
Yes, yeah.
All
let's say
right,
the options.
we got Sir
Brienne of
Brienne
Tarth.
of Tarth. We got Grey Worm. We have the Mountain's brother, the Hound.
They
we have
actually
Jon
fought.
Snow.
Yep.
We have
Oberyn,
Oberyn. That's what his
Prince
name was.
Oberyn, who
Yeah.
fought him the first time, and then that's
the
Yeah.
guy from Hot D.
Darian.
Yeah.
Darian.
Darnarius.
It starts with a D.
Yeah.
the Targaryen dude. Yeah,
Matt Smith.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, again, we already know what happened with Prince Oberyn. So sadly, I mean, John's right though. He beat him.
he beat him.
Yeah.
Just don't celebrate. Don't spike the ball at the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
The game was over.
But if you beat him and he still died to him, did you really beat him?
Yeah, but he didn't die. Remember, he lived. The mountain lived.
No, I'm talking about
Well,
Oberyn.
the Mountain
Oh.
lived, but only because Qyburn came along. The answer is Oberyn because he beat him before.
Yeah, he did.
I think Grey Worm.
Why? The
He's
guy has
a
no
menace.
balls, Nick.
Right. And
He's got no balls, and he's all pouty because his lady got her head chopped
yeah,
off.
but I mean, before that happened, he was a menace.
Was he?
Yeah,
He's so tiny.
that entire army, those guys are scary.
But it's 1-on-1, Nick. It's not the army.
I think he could do it.
What are they
one-on-one.
called? The Unsullied?
Yeah, the
Here's
Unsullied.
a take.
Unsullied.
Overrated.
You think the
Unsullied.
Unsullied are overrated?
Overrated.
Wow.
Yeah, overrated.
I think that's a bad take.
I think it's a normal take.
I'm gonna go with Grey Worm.
What happened with the Hound and him when they fought? It's been a long time.
They
since
killed
I-
each other. Remember
They fought. Did
yeah.
they fall? Is that what
Yeah,
happened?
they fell.
Yeah,
They
they were
fell,
fighting
yeah.
when the dragons and the towers.
I don't think it's John. I mean, I don't know, man. Brienne kicked some
John
ass
did
out
come
there.
back from the dead.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. What is dead may never die.
Yeah.
You know, they said that on that show.
I mean, Brienne would put up a good fight, but I don't think she'd win.
I-
I
she
think
would die.
Oberyn's the answer because he did win until he. I mean, he almost won, Nick.
I
He
do
was
think-
up with
but
1 point with a second
He
to go.
still
Yeah.
died to him,
But
though.
he could have beaten him if he didn't.
But that's who he is. That's his nature.
Wow. He was close, Nick.
He was
He was
close.
He was
Close.
close. If it wouldn't have turned it over at the end of the game, they would have won.
Mm.
Yeah. Wow.
One more on the generations. From
Awesome.
Comp
What's the
Eliminator
worst?
Matt.
Gen Z. Sorry, never mind.
From
Move
Comp Eliminator Matt.
on. Hello, Matt.
Is it 1-on-1 or 1v1? He says 1v1 is stupid Gen Z garbage. The only right answer is 1-on-1. Is this true, Nick? Is your generation, when they talk about 1-on-1,
1v1, Nick.
is it 1v1 when you write it out?
I mean,
Or when
we
you
don't
say it?
we don't write it out. We always say it, but the context it always has been with me has been like Call of Duty lobbies, like 1v1 me, bro. Like 1v1
Wow.
Rust,
So
snipers
the
only.
commenter was right that this is Gen Z garbage.
I guess I didn't realize it was Gen Z garbage.
Gen
I thought it was
Z-
just gamer speak.
What is going on with your generation?
1v1
Yeah, but
me,
what
bro.
does Generation Z A think versus Generation Z B
Great
think?
point, John.
I mean, I don't know.
Excellent
I can't
question.
speak for ZB because I know ZA. I grew up in Call of Duty lobbies. 1v1. me,
Yeah, I'm
bro.
a one-on-one. One-on-one.
1-on-1.
1v1. 1v1. dome
That's what it is.
sniper
It's 1-on-1. It's easier to say.
Yeah, 1v1 is stupid. Wow,
Yeah.
Ziggy says 1 versus 1 is literally the correct vernacular. And then he says 1-on-1 is top tier brain rot. Hey, you're the one with brain rot, Ziggy.
There ain't no song called 1v1. Hall & Oates did 1-on-1. So, no, 1-on-1
1-on-one
is the
feels-
correct answer.
1-on-1 feels more intimate to me, like in a basketball context.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about it.
Like, let's go 1-on-1.
Well, that's
brother.
what the song was about.
Brother.
But then, if you're in a digital context, maybe that could be a 1v1.
digital context.
Yeah,
A
Yeah.
digital
like a
context.
video
Nick, are you
game.
like one of those Gen Zers that's friend with an AI?
No.
You do that? You chat with Chat
No.
GPT about how you love them?
No,
Dude, people need to go outside.
I'm not like her.
Yeah, people do that. They're falling in love with
What?
John. It is.
What?
We should pick her for movie club.
I hated that movie.
I didn't like it much either.
Then why would you want to rewatch
because
it?
unfortunately, I think it's a sign of the times.
It
now.
most definitely is.
I think they might have called it.
I listened to the Daily earlier this year, and they talked to a woman who is in a relation. Well, she's married, but also in a side relationship with not a robot, with AI.
The AI's her side piece.
I just was shaking my head.
That sounds like a bad airport novel.
Like, what is wrong with society? And then I was like, oh, wait, I'm listening to What's Wrong with Society. This.
Society.
Man.
See, Gen ZB would love that.
Ugh.
I hate that.
Nah, I think she was elder Gen Z. I think she was like 28.
Ugh.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Nick. One of us.
No.
That's what you were chanting.
No.
One of us.
No.
Oh, wow,
Andy,
Sam.
Andy, for whom I disagree on a lot of things, but
Oh,
I do
yeah.
agree on this. Did Michael Jordan and Larry Bird play 1v1 for a Big Mac? No, sir, they did not. That was one-on-one.
Shout
Good
out.
response, Andrew.
Uh-huh. Sad
That
Husker,
is so true.
Sad Husker fan says, I'm just an old Josh. If it makes me an old for not dating AI, then call me 100. Because that's what I am. I will never date a
How in the hell do you date words off a computer?
John, you just text all the time. You just send text and say, I love you. And the AI's like, I don't have feelings, but I guess I love you too.
It tells you whatever you programmed it to tell you to make you feel like a
Oh
special
my
boy
gosh.
or girl.
That's like the most depressing late stage crap I've ever heard.
Pretty sad.
Yeah, it really is. Sam, quoting Nick, I grew up playing outside. Also, Nick, I grew up in Call of Duty lobbies.
You can do
Where
both.
did you grow up, Mr. Gen Z?
Yeah, where were you?
We had a healthy balance of both. We could play
Interesting.
outside. We do airsoft wars and like, all right, now let's go play some multiplayer.
Mm.
We could do. There was balance. It was nice.
In the Force?
Yes.
Mm.
Binds us.
Nice.